Hey everybody, XJoe81X, and we're on location, and we had a little bit of a problem off camera. The heat was turned on at some point, and the switch was flipped, the thermostat was on, and about an hour or two later, there was a grunting noise. If I remember, which I'm not, I could get that video and I could add it in. So we'll see. I have a tendency of deleting things before I'm ready. So we came on location, and the very first thing we're going to do is hopefully mimic the problem. And then we're going to show you how I take one, two, and or three of these circulators off of this system. Excuse me, sorry. And that's it. So allegedly it's grinding, which means that the wheel is possibly spinning, but it's not circulating. And we could talk about it till we're blue in the face, so let's try to mimic it. When I did come down here, unfortunately, I did notice this. This is actively dripping. There will be a video in the description of when mine dripped. So who knows how long this has been dripping. So this is a quick fix, but the problem is it's all pressurized even when it's not on. But because we're going to take a circulator off, and there's the valve on top but not the bottom, we do have to drain the whole system. But it's at 0 degrees, so it's actually the perfect time to do that. So let's turn it on, and nothing should happen because no thermostat is calling. This is green. This should say number 1. And again, should it fire, or it won't fire if it's not called for?
Not calling for, it's not going to fire.
Okay, so we're going to go upstairs, and we're going to call for it. And oh, guess what? The mad scientist is here, because why not diagnose something without him here? Now I'm going to give the phone to him, because I'm going to go call, put it on 70 or however much. He's going to hopefully videotape the circulator. The circulator is going to go on right away, but it's not going to be hot, but the burner's going to fire. And we'll see if it mimics the problem. If not, unfortunately, we'll just leave it on. Maybe the problem doesn't get mimicked until it's hot.
Yes, maybe heat related. We don't know.
We don't know. Well,
chances are good. I saw the video already. I have read your complaint. And it's probably one of these two circulators that is making noise, like the impeller is grinding bad, like a bad water pump.
Yeah, grind it till you find it. So I'm going to hit pause, and let's see. Unfortunately, this is going to get pressurized. There's nothing we could do. It's just going to leak. We'll fix it. And not for nothing, I probably should get 2 and do them both, because, right, I didn't bring Teflon, though. Anyway, hold on.
We should know momentarily. Well, no noise yet, of course. That feels like it's running. Oh, that one does not feel right.
I put it to 80.
The cobweb's getting cleaned out. There's sort of like a vibrating feel. Pilot tube probably ignited. Ignition.
The middle one with your two hands on it, does feel
More vibrating.
more grindy.
Yep.
Now, it's cold, so the cold wheel could have the bearing cold or whatever's in here, and that could just be spinning.
Yep.
And as it gets hot, it expands. And correct me if I'm wrong, whatever's wrong with it, whether it's a wobble or it's broken, then that's when you hear the
Right.
because now it's expanding.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the only way to mimic this and
Is
have
to-
the boiler still hot would have been to leave the basement on. But
We gotta let it cook and run for a bit.
so the middle one does, yeah. So we'll be back. Okay, a little bit time, half hour maybe. We're up to Chooch. Pressure is just below 820, which is 18, 170. It got hot, and it's cold. It cold already. This is the second time. This stopped leaking only because when it got hot, it probably expanded. That still needs to be changed. So theoretically, we still need to sort of change something, but that's a depot fix because those are 20. We don't know if we're changing all of them yet because we're going to have to depressurize the system if we do that. So we're trying to mimic the scenario. We took this off and we were like, all right, maybe we could take one or two pieces of power off, because if you listen closely, you do hear the circulators. So anyway, we're chilling. All of a sudden we hear, and again, if I remember to put the video, and I said, whoa, and I got really down, and it was coming from here. I told her to shut it, so she just went like this. So like, oh no. Oh, oh no. That's the relay. Yeah. That is not. Something in here, if not that mechanism, is potentially failing. Now, what I see and what you see are a bunch of connectors and a transformer.
Yeah, that big thing is a transformer.
Right. So what makes 120 volts to 24 or 12? Is that what converts the system?
Usually it's 24, yeah.
And that's that. And there's the gas regulator that stops the whole house from blowing. And I need to still vacuum, or should have brought compressed air because these tubes are filled. So I don't know if I'm going to hit this. I don't know. There is a box here. See this? It kind of wobbles. I don't know if there's... The only probe I see is this 3-wire, and it goes into something, so that probably talks to it. And then all this stuff gives you errors, but when it... I didn't notice if there was an error. And then the power's off all summer, so it's not like, maybe the ignite, nope, it was doing it. Yep. So we'll see. This unfortunately, this water could have dripped and maybe it's shorting it. We don't know. What I could tell you is that I don't think the heat stops working when that noise goes off, but we don't know. Something is rattling in here. And there could be stuff in here. So, anyway, we'll see. So by the power of editing, we're back the next day. Why? Because I ran out of time. Home Depot, where I lived, didn't actually have these in stock. And they said that they had 12. So, long story short, I left. We're going to replace all 3 because why replace 1 or 2 and it leaks? So basically what you want to do is, unfortunately I'm not a plumber, so I don't have a pump. This was isolated. We shut all 3 valves off, so the upper half of the zones are good. This is the returns of each zone. So technically, whatever air or not air, or whatever the system was prior to coming in, the zone should still have air, should have water. What we're going to do is we relieve the pressure. The pressure went down to 0, And then what you want to do, oh look, this is even leaking too.
Yeah.
But that could be the pressure imbalance, or what you're going to want to do is just righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Allegedly, these things shouldn't be that tight. We shouldn't get any water coming flying out. See? So what happens, oh sorry. See, what would happen is if that was under pressure and it was on, that's kind of like a radiator hose in the car after you shut it off or if it's running. That would get about 2 or 3 threads, and that would go bang, and you would have 180 degrees, coming out, and yeah, you screwed yourself, burned yourself, and you would have to shut it down. But again, that's fine. I get it. There's misconception with a lot of things. It also doesn't help that this is black, which means that just like everything else, it's sediment. Sediment. Everything has sediment. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one off at a time. They come right off if they were installed correctly. That's just like an oil filter on your car. It just comes off, except that there's no oil. This has a it's cleaner. Notice how the Teflon is pushed up on all of them, which is kind of funny. And then, because we're still recording, because I like to show everybody everything. Look, this one came right off. Let's see if this has any Whoa! Jesus, that scared me. Imagine that was hot. If that was hot, I would have just got burned. Right? I would have just got burned. 100, right? But anyway, so we're going to assess it. I'm going to hit it with a rag. I'm going to prep these things with Teflon, and we're going to come right back. Okay, there's the old ones. Here's the new ones. We put Teflon, and all you got to do is make sure that the hole right here doesn't have Teflon on it, because it does something, and you reverse the process. You take it and you put it in, and you make sure it's not cross-threaded, even though, there we go. Okay, you tighten it up till it doesn't move no more. I'm not saying wrench it down, but you got to have that mechanical feel. Like it's a little bit resistance, and I gave it a little oomph. And that's that. It may not, and if it leaks, you tighten it. Here we are, right? There's nothing here. Again, we were doing this anyway because when we came downstairs the other day, yesterday, this was leaking, and it was leaking like a sieve. Hence, that's it. So it basically just keeps leaking, and it keeps leaking. And there's no rhyme or reason as long as you relieve the pressure. I'll take a vacuum to all this stuff off camera, just because it's one less fucking problem, even though dust doesn't stop it from working. So tighten it, right? And you kind of just, I mean, I could be doing it wrong. Same thread. Oh, these threads came completely off. So, well, let me redo that, but I'll put this one on. That also was tighter. This is the one that was leaking, but it was leaking out of it, so hopefully this is just brand new. Why is the Teflon bunching up?
Did you put it the wrong way on it?
So I did have this Teflon Don on the incorrect way, because that one is pretty. We're going to put this one on, and let's see how pretty this one is.
I'm just here for the ride.
Oh, JK18's behind me. Talk to it in the back. Okay. Yeah, again, if this leaks, we just tighten it. We're going to redo this one. Oh, look at that. I took it. So we're going to retighten this. I'm going to redo this. We'll be right back. We're almost done here, and then we'll shoot. We'll blah, blah, blah. Okay. This is what we did off camera. I'm really, really sorry. I didn't get it. Every system is different. So we put a hose on the bottom right here. Okay. Then we shut off all three valves. And then we just introduced open city water through the boiler. And then the hose is outside. We waited about 2 or 3 minutes. We just cycled it. The longer the hose, the more air, the more bubbles. And then I took a vacuum, which has nothing to do with the video, and I just cleaned the area, whatever. Okay. Then we were done. You shut the valve off. You remove the hose. And then each valve here corresponds with a shutoff and a drain there. So the back was the basement, the middle was the middle, and the front was this one right here. We put the hose, which is not here, on that. Everything was still off, and we opened up only the blue valve. We opened up one yellow valve and one yellow valve, and city water was going through the boiler and then through the house as if it was hot, and we buy it with the circulator, but obviously it wasn't calling for heat. We did that for 2 minutes, and we rinse and repeat. 2, 4, 6, maybe 8, 10. I was also cleaning. And then I have the compressed air. We're going to do one more final blow right here. I'm going to get everything out of the way, move the towels, and then we're going to just, the thermostat upstairs is set to 80 from yesterday. So as soon as we turn it on, we should see what's going on. We'll see what happens, whether it's fixed or not. That is all. I do want to come in here and zoom just for video, and I will forget at some point. This is the make, model, and part number. It's a Burnham. Okay. This is the front. This does not correspond with anything on the internet. Right here. This is actually a part number, but it changed. We'll address that another time. And the rest is really nothing. Everything is just warning and thermostats and gas. So I'm going to spray it out. We're going to turn it on. We'll come back whether it works or not, or conclude. And this could be just one of those things where we don't have a conclusion. So we'll be back.
So one thing that we were thinking about with the noise, which immediately to me sounded like a circulator pump until we got here, we have not been able to really duplicate it. It did go for about 5 seconds yesterday, but we haven't been able to duplicate it. One thing I was concerned about were the expansion tanks. There's one here on the boiler. This is a separate system itself, the water heater completely separate from the boiler, but you can test the expansion tanks. If they're bad, you could get a water hammering, which is kind of like the sound that we had. And the way you test it is to just rap on it. Here's a bad tank. You want to go with the bottom part and the top part, whichever way it is, doesn't matter. Sounds kind of solid. Shouldn't sound like that. This tank is good. See how it rings? And the bottom, not as much. So that rings, that doesn't, but this one's dead. Definitely no good on that. So it probably is not the expansion tank. I'm at a loss. I don't know. We're gonna just wait and see if anything happens.
All right, everybody, we're cleaned up. We're ready, the car, the driveway, everything is clean. JK18 was down here, and he says it happened again, just like the previous video. A couple of minutes ago, maybe 15 or 20, when it went off. He says it went off for a split second. He tried his best to touch the side with his relays. He didn't feel it, and then it shut off. And he kind of thought maybe it was chattering at the gas valve, but why would the gas valve chatter? I don't know if there's a relay there. He says that there's no moving parts on a transformer because it's just power, so it's in gel. And in here, there's a couple of things. So if it happens again, the only thing I could do is touch things. This is not hot. I could do this. All I could do is do this. Oh, I could do that because the gas is in there. I don't know how to mimic it, if at all. There's no moving parts. Water sits in the tank. Fires. It's a smaller version of this. Water is cycling through the pipes when these are on. There's a little fan in there. Sorry if you already know this. So it goes up. There's a blade. Maybe there's holes. It pushes it through your house, wherever you are. Comes back down the return. It goes in. I think there's slots in here. Goes in. Goes in. Goes in. Goes in. Goes in. Water. Flame. Hot. Temperature. Ba 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 ba. And then it goes into heat. And it turns into heat. So what you have here is a smaller version of that. All it's doing is how hot are we? How hot is the water? Is the gas on? Is the gas off? That's all. And there's something in here that turns the flute, which now says, oh, here we go. We have to expel gases. So when it's off, it flattens. When it's on, it opens and it goes out the chimney. So the only thing that's moving is gas through a gas valve, and this little Chinese guy's in there saying high, low, low. That's all. That's all. This is electrical box. This is the on-off switch. This thing is some kind of low limit water thing. So I'm not going to wrap it up, but I'm going to wrap it up right now, and we'll see. To be continued. Hit like, hit subscribe right now. Thank you for watching. If this thing is over between 20 and 30 minutes, I will shut this down. And we'll be right back if there's a problem.